Hey folks, and welcome to the Truck King YouTube channel. Well, the numbers are in. Ford has released towing, payload, and power numbers for its new Super Duty, and just like they promised, it is best in class across the board. So in this video, I'm gonna deliver you all of those numbers, but maybe more importantly, ask the question, does it actually matter that you can now tow 40,000 pounds with the Super Duty? Let's talk it out. It's been about a month since we went down to State Fair of Texas and actually saw this brand new Ford Super Duty in the metal for the first time. We actually got a chance to see all the new HDs while we were down there, so if you want more details on towing technology and all the different cameras on these trucks, well, go check out those videos. Now, when we were there, Ford kept saying, no, we don't have numbers, but you will get them, and now we finally do. So let me list off all of these numbers for you, and then we'll talk about them. So I think the first one we have to go to is power. So if you go for that 6.7 liter Power Stroke V8 diesel high output, you're going to be getting 500 horsepower and 1,200 pound-feet of torque. Now that's the HO version. If you go for the regular Power Stroke diesel, you're getting 475 horsepower, 1,050 pound-feet of torque. Opt for the 7.3 liter gas V8 and you're looking at 430 horsepower, 485 pound-feet of torque, and then that brand new base 6.8 liter V8 gas engine, well, that's making 405 horsepower and 445 pound-feet of torque. So the power is up across the board, and like Ford said, 1,200 pound-feet of torque, that is best in class. Now let's get to the towing, and there's a lot of best in class claims here, and I'm gonna go through them all. Here we go. So best maximum gooseneck towing of 40,000 pounds on the F450. The best maximum gooseneck on the F350 is 38,000 pounds. Best maximum fifth wheel towing is 35,000 pounds. That's on the F450. The best maximum available conventional towing is 30,000 pounds on the F450 and 28,000 pounds on the F350. But wait, there's more. The best maximum tow number on the F250 is 23,000 pounds, also best in class. If you go for the F350 with the 7.3 gas, you're at 22,000 pounds of towing, and I think you get the point. I'm listing off so many numbers here, but Ford is best in class across the board. It doesn't matter if you're talking 250, 350, or 450, and actually let's dive into the classification of these trucks a little bit more right now. Now let me quickly try and simplify this for you. Ford does compare its F450 with the other brands' 3500s. And the reason they do that is because they all still have a GVWR of 14,000 pounds or less. Now some of the F450s can get a bigger GVWR, and those aren't the trucks that Ford is talking about. So the other brands don't like it when Ford compares 450 to 3500, but if you just look at the GVWR classification, they all do fall in the same class. Right now, let me just say kudos to Ford. You know what? There is a towing standard, and obviously their truck met all of those standards and was able to put out all of these numbers, which are pretty amazing. Now, though, I have to talk a little bit about the smoke and mirrors, and this is all of the brands in the pickup truck industry. Sure, one specific build of the F450, that's a regular cab, dually work truck with the max tow package, that configuration can do 40,000 pounds. So this is just a reminder that these brands love to parrot the huge towing numbers, but the truth is the vast majority of trucks that they actually sell, well, they cannot do those numbers. So keep that in mind, and we always harp on this. When you purchase a pickup truck, try to go find the tow rating for that exact model with that rear end and that trim, because you can't just trust those huge numbers that Ford or any other brand throws out there. Now, next, we got to get to that huge number. And the question we're posing here isn't who needs to tow that much. I'm sure there are actual contractors out there who could use a truck to pull 40,000 pounds. The bigger question is, when do we cross the safety line? When do we cross the line where towing that much weight with that small of a truck, frankly, is just not safe? And I think we're getting there. I think maybe we've already crossed that line, and if we haven't crossed it, we're dang close. But right now, I'm actually going to throw to Dad, because as you may or may not know, my dad has his Class A here in Ontario. That's a CDL for all of you Americans. So he has experience pulling 100,000 pounds. He has pulled those weights. So I want to bring him in here now and get his thoughts on just, sure, the truck will do it, but should you be pulling 40,000 pounds with a Super Duty?
So when I heard Ford's numbers today, Steve and I started talking about it, and I know that they do their engineering, and if they claim they can do 40,000 pounds as their new top limit, I know they can do it. Now, comes the question, should you be doing it? And the reason I put this out there is because, as Steve mentioned, I used to haul steel back in the day, typically anywhere from 100 to 150,000 pounds gross weight. And I never worried about getting my load going. The only thing I ever worried about was stopping it. You got that amount of weight behind you. It's constantly, an anxiety over, will I be able to stop in time? God, please don't let anybody cut me off today. And these are the realities of towing big loads. In addition to which, Ford does their testing where they do it. However, we tow in the prairies, we tow in the Rockies, we tow in the snow, we tow in 110-degree weather down in Texas. All the road conditions, the weather conditions, everything plays into what that load is going to do behind your truck. And so I'll go out on a limb here and I'll say that 40,000 pounds, honestly, behind what's virtually a pickup truck, regardless if it's a 450, is too much. We need to make that jump into the medium duty chassis. And anybody who has hauled weight, come on the channel and argue with me, all right? Because I've done the pucker down the mountain in the freezing rain and being pushed by my load. And it really comes down to, will the truck handle it? In the case of tractor trailers, yes, they will. That's what they're designed for. Pickup trucks, I don't know. And I don't know why we keep trying to make them bigger. So I'd rather see this engineering, like I say, moving into the medium duty trucks. And last thing that I'm going to harp on right now is here in Ontario, you can only tow up to 10,000 pounds with what is called a G-class license, or basically your car driver's license, okay? Once you get over 10,000 pounds, you need a Class A. So think about it. F-150 is already touting over 12,000 pounds. You're not legal to pull with a half-ton, let alone with an F-450. So all these things are food for thought. I think as an industry, we have to rethink what we think is safe for a pickup. So that's it for this one, folks. That's the big news. Ford is the big dog, and they are going to bark as loud as they have to make sure that you're paying attention. So with those numbers, you can hear them. However, I just want this conversation to start. Steve and I, we work with this all year long, so I want everybody to talk about it. Should we really be pushing these numbers in that direction? Because it's us, we pay the bills. So if we yell enough at the manufacturers, maybe they'll change a little bit of direction and give us what we need, but give it to us in a truck that'll handle it. So that's it for this one. Please, folks, go below, hit like, hit subscribe, please join the channel, and then by all means, go below and tell us what you think, and come back soon to see what we're testing next.